Many times when anglers are planning a trip to northern parts of Canada and they're going to fish for pike, they email me at Ask Italo and say, what should I take with me? What are some of the best lures to use for pike? And I tell them one of the simplest lures to use is a Lucky Strike spoon. Now probably the red and white devil spoon, which is white painted in the middle with 2 red stripes, is probably the #1 spoon for casting. But a lot of times when you're fishing for pike, they're in very shallow water. And here at Kesagami Lake, there's a lot of reeds. I'm talking acres and acres of reeds that have died from the year before and they've fallen down on top of the water. And then the new ones are coming up. It's very difficult to put any lure through there because it'll get hung up or it'll tear off the piece of weed and then it'll go stuck on the hook. So the best lure to use for that kind of application is a weedless spoon. And Lucky Strike has some of the best on the market, and I'll show you some of the best colors. So this is the actual spoon here. So you can see that it's very thin if I hold it up. It's not a very thick spoon, and it has one single hook, which is ideal because here at Kesagami Lake, you're only allowed to use a single barbless hook. And you can see that I pinched the barb down, that's right there. And the hook is attached to the spoon by a heavy rivet, so that when the spoon goes through the water, the hook doesn't move around, so it's not on a split ring. You can also see that on that same rivet, there are 2 weed guards, wire weed guards, that are very flexible. The ideal setting for the weed guards is about a 1/4 inch up from the hook. So you see the distance that I have from the point of the hook to the weed guards? This way, when you're going over vegetation, the weed guards flex and they deflect any vegetation that the spoon might be going over. But when a pike comes up and he closes his mouth on it, the weed guard goes down to expose the hook and you get really good hookups. You know, this is nice. We're here in northern Ontario, about 70 miles south of James Bay, and we're fishing famous Kesagami Lake. I've got my lovely wife Barbara with me, and Bill McFarlane, and this is the first fish this morning on a spoon, and he's not big, but we know that there's some bruisers in here, right?
Sure is.
Because we were in here yesterday and we saw a lot of fish. Man, you hooked them right through the bone. That hook should just fall out. Plump, eh? The one thing that we've noticed on quite a few of the pike here is that they have leeches on them. Bill, can you just point out that leech? Play with it a little bit, see if it'll stretch a little bit. And that's actually a good thing, because I think that the walleyes would love to eat the leeches, okay? So there's one of the small leeches. I've got it in the palm of my hand. Did you want to keep that, take it home or anything?
Put it in my pocket.
Okay,
use it later.
Perfect, good. Yeah, for the walleye. Actually, you're not allowed to use bait here. But anyway, that's a short pike that I've just released very carefully into the water. Because you can't hold on to them too long, you know? Cindy, I get asked all the time, can children operate a powerboat?
As a matter of fact, they can, but there are restrictions that they should be aware of. Youth ages 12 to 16 with no direct supervision may operate a boat with up to 40 horsepower. Youth under 16 years of age, regardless of supervision, may not operate a personal watercraft. And teens 16 years of age have no horsepower restriction, but they must have proof of competency.